All right. Hello, I'm Devin Bohanan. I run the APFIT program. APFIT is the department's acceleration tool, really. It helps small businesses get across the valley of death. Instead of making you guys wait 2 years for a POM process to catch up, we can start buying today. Helps the business, helps the warfighter. It's been a very successful acceleration tool. I'm excited to be here with Tim Francis, one of our awardees. Tim?
Great, thank you. I'm Tim Francis, representing Overland AI. We are the world leader in ground autonomy off-road. We specialize in high-speed, aggressive, high-performance autonomy, and we're bringing that to the Marine Corps, to the Army Special Operations Command. Thrilled to be here today. We feel honored and grateful and thankful to be a part of the APFIT program, and it's going to take us to the next level.
It's great to hear that. And I remember this coming in as a submission in the early stages, being pretty excited about it initially. At first, it was just Marine Corps focused. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we got into the Army. But having seen it work through the process on the government side, I'd love to hear your perspective on what it took from the company side to ultimately win this award.
Yeah, absolutely. So we came out of University of Washington. We started out as in a university lab. We moved towards DARPA experimentation. We were winning some small awards, very much in the RDT&E space, looking at how we cross the proverbial valley of death. And as we looked at that challenge, we started to see APFIT as like a really great opportunity to try and do that. And so the great part about where we were is we had no problem registering demand in the Marine Corps. I think there were many, many people that understood ground autonomy is, maybe the next big thing. It's really important. It's going to save Marine lives. It's going to provide us all these capabilities. The question was like, how do we bring it in the door? How do we test it? How do we find the funding for it? All these sorts of things. So, we had come along this journey so far. We had the demand registered. And so we started to understand that we needed to match, this demand that we're hearing with an actual PM, with somebody who was going to raise their hand and say like, we want to bring this capability on board, and we want to fund it later on. And we want to do all the like administrative muscle movements that you could probably outline even better than I could. That we want to take all this on because we know that we're going to get the funding help from the Secretary's office. And so we kind of, we had all this demand registered. We found an office where we could say, yes, we will raise our hand. We will bring this in the door. And we started to do the coordination with them.
And that was really the right time to reach out to the APFIT program. When I think of all of our programs, many of them find the sweet spot. You guys are absolutely in that sweet spot, right? You had the demand. We saw the demand, certainly. You found yourself, at the time, there was no program office for this. Right. So to stand up a program office or nest under an existing one meant you were probably 2 years away from getting any real procurement dollars under the old processes. That's precisely what APFIT looks for. So when you came in, it was the perfect time. You had a government POC in the form of a colonel, very motivated to bring this capability to us. It was exactly what we look for. So candidly, it made for, it scored pretty well. It made for an easy selection for our standpoint, because we actually worked with the Marine Corps. They fall under the Department of the Navy, their acquisition executive. We work hand in hand with those acquisition executives to say, if we APFIT start buying now, where are you? What are you doing to line up your money in the out years? That's a key part of the APFIT program. When we got the head nod from the Department of the Navy saying, yes, we are putting this into the POM. We plan on buying more of this. It set up the perfect situation for APFIT to bridge you into that. And again, made for a great selection.
Yeah. And that for us, there were some of these pieces that was like discovery learning. We had to figure out as we went along, but the relationships that we had with you, with the Marine Corps, helped educate us along the way so that everything could fall into place. Because, for example, like the Department of the Navy's role in this, we needed help to figure out like how to make that happen. And because of how the APFIT's structured, we're often kind of one step removed, because it is a government driven program. It's a government saying like, this is the government in the form of the Marine Corps. For us, the government saying, we want this, we want to bring it on. So that was the relationship and the back and forth discussion. Your office always responsive. That was huge for us.
Again, you really did it the right way. You got that motivated government champion. I often tell companies that's the most important thing. Have somebody on the government side that wants this capability, because they're going to be the ones not just briefing the APFIT program if it makes it to that level. They're going to need to work it through the inner workings of the Marine Corps or whichever service you're going through. Mm-hmm. You had a colonel that was motivated to do that, and it came out as one of the Marine Corps' top projects. Ultimately made it to us, and then he was the same colonel briefing our assessment panel. Without that, it does make it without somebody motivated on the inside, on the government side, it can make it tough to get through the process.
Yeah, our contacts in the Marine Corps were great. The nice thing about it was when even early on, when we were just talking to Marines in the field at operational units, they understood the need. When we got to GBAD, it was not really us selling what we were bringing. It was them saying, we have a need, we understand kind of what we need, and a discussion on like, how does this capability fit the need that the Marine Corps has already said we need this. And that was like, that made it kind of a hand in glove type of fit. And then throw in the APFIT program on top of that. There's a lot of like good vibes and like the right the right people doing the right things toward making this happen. And then like throw in like the benefits for our company.
Tim, that's great. And we clearly saw the impact to the warfighter side of this capability. I often describe APFIT as kind of a dual benefit program. The warfighter gets their equipment, their kit 2 years sooner. They don't need to wait. But the other side of the coin is it helps the businesses. You aren't standing for 2 years waiting for cash flow. And then when that service money does show up 2 years down the road, you aren't caught flat-footed. APFIT allows you to stand up, get production going, and roll right into the service money when it shows up. So can you talk to me a little bit about the impact this award had on your company?
Absolutely. So the history of our company was really in cutting edge research and development and coming up with these novel solutions and being right there on the cutting edge. That we did really well. Where we could use help was in scaling, creating manufacturing capability, bringing people in the door, getting the right systems in place, getting the right machinery in place. And that's what we said that we wanted to do with the APFIT Award. We wanted to create those things that allow us to scale and allow us to ultimately bring down the unit cost of this thing. So we are doing exactly that. We are bringing systems on board. We're bringing people on board. We're bringing all those things that you need to take something that is a great idea and make it not just a great idea, but scalable, bring it the unit cost down for the benefit of the government and the warfighter, and do all those things that really, like the APFIT program, when you read about it online, those things that they say they're going to do are actually like what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's good to hear you say that. Sometimes I meet with companies that they present their company in the greatest light possible, as you can imagine. And by the end of the conversation, I leave thinking, what do you need APFIT for? You've already got all this scaling, you've got all this cash flow. So APFIT is a little counterintuitive in that aspect, in that we actually favor some of those companies where our APFIT dollars are going to have more of the impact. Some of those companies that without an APFIT award, they may not make it through the valley of death. That's precisely what we're looking for. So a company like Overland coming in, being upfront that, hey, we can't produce at the rate you want us to today. We don't know where our cash flow is going to come for the next 2 years. That's the sweet spot for APFIT.
100%. And the effects just kind of compound on themselves, because we have the production contract now, and we can scale our manufacturing. And then so when we go to the next production contract, we get to answer that question and say, yep, scaling, we can do that. We can bring the unit cost down. We can do this, that, and the other thing, that it's all very important. And oh, by the way, we now have past performance to justify and prove that, thanks to the work we've done for APFIT.
And another interesting aspect, once a company wins an APFIT award, we become an advocate for that capability, expanding into other services. So originally, the APFIT award you guys won was to deliver capability to the Marine Corps. The Army then came around and said, this is something applicable to us as well. APFIT is very interested in opening markets to that capability. A big metric for us is when APFIT awards a capability, 2 or 3 years down the road, we want to know that somebody's still buying that capability in the department. So when the Army showed interest, we actually increased your award. We gave you a plus up to get those vehicles into the Army and help solidify that transition, not just to the Marine Corps, but to the Army. Can you talk to me a little bit about where you're at with the Army today?
We have a great and growing relationship with the Army, both on the conventional side and on the special operations side. We're really proud of the fact that this is becoming a joint award. We don't see ourselves as like just a Marine Corps manufacturer, or for that matter, just an Army manufacturer. We feel like our capability is something that's important for a whole bunch of different warfighters and a whole bunch of different use cases. So we are thrilled with the fact that that your office had the flexibility that when we came back and said there is other interest here, to not just say like, hey, we had this discussion, this is over, but the openness to say like, hey, let's sit down and talk through like what this might look like. And I think we came up with a really compelling solution that's going to give the Army and Special Operations Command the ability to use this in a way that fits the use cases that they need, that are, one step different from the Marine Corps, but provide like the joint force a capability that can become really useful for them.
And on the government side, we are seeing the use cases grow seemingly by the day. You all have proven the capability. That's the first key. Now more potential customers are coming. That's exactly what we want to see with the APFIT program. We're really excited to see where this one goes.
So, Devin, I saw that you announced that 27.1 just open. I'd be interested to hear your point of view, latest and greatest. Like, what should companies be thinking about? What's the one piece of advice that you could give to them for success with the program?
Yeah, absolutely. 27.1 did just open. It'll be open all summer. Deadlines, depending on who you submit through, each service will have a different deadline. They'll start closing in the July timeframe. But one piece of advice, it really comes down to who that government person is going to be that submits to you or submits for you. That person will be doing the briefings, convincing others that this is important. I'd also say make sure that person's flexible. They may not want to submit directly through their home service. There are other submission paths. Each combatant command, each agency. This came out of DARPA. DARPA, just because it's no longer a DARPA project, they may still have interest in submitting it. So having a flexible, good, motivated person willing to submit for you, probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Now, I'll turn that question on you. From the company side, somebody thinking about submitting to our 27.1 cycle, what advice would you have for those companies?
My one piece of advice would be to not fall in love with your plan. What we originally proposed as our APFIT submission is not what ultimately became our APFIT award. And like constant iterating with the Marine Corps and with your office and with everybody involved really got us to that optimal solution that really, like, I think appealed to the program in the way that you described. So when like the user or your advocate or whoever is saying like, this would really be perfect if we adjusted it in these like little ways, be open to that, find solutions, and like they're going to lead you to where you can get an award.
And one of those changes was you guys were going to partner with a pretty large company to provide an added on capability. We actually didn't want to go that route. We wanted less money going to the large company and more money going to the small business, the APFIT awardee. So that was one of those many changes. But we're really excited about this. We're seeing the number of use cases for this capability grow seemingly a bit daily. And we're excited for Overland and where this is going to go.
Devin, thanks again for running the program, everything that you do, the support to the warfighter, and support to companies that are trying to navigate this space and to win and produce capabilities that are going to make a difference.
Well, certainly appreciate that. We're always looking for good companies like you guys to join the APFIT program or submit, propose to the APFIT program. We're here tonight at the Frontier House. We're going to talk APFIT all evening, and hopefully we find some other good companies. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you.